to your first postnatal intro session with me, Eleni Roulakis. I'm a certified Pilates instructor and a doctor of occupational therapy student. I've designed this program to help you progress throughout your fitness routine, and it's catered to postpartum conditions, and it's honestly just a good way to start to get your body moving, whether you are just at least 6 weeks postpartum up to a year. So let's go ahead and get started. Also for this, you can use a little ab ball if you happen to have one of these, or if one of your children has a ball, or if you could use a ball from your dog. A throw pillow also works well, and you can also just use your mind for that kind of mind-body connection. As I explained to you, the purpose of this as we use it. We'll just be using it for a few exercises. So to start, we're just going to start with some breath work. You'll sit crisscross applesauce, otherwise feet flat on the mat, and then just sitting up tall on your sit bones. But if you can cross your legs, you're going to bring your hands on your waist. Now I'm going to practice lateral breathing. So you'll take an inhale in through your nose. Feel the breath drawing down, sinking all the way into your belly, but instead of protruding the belly out, think about pushing your rib cage into your hands. And then exhale, your rib cage sinks down and together. So inhale, air draws in and up. And then exhale, inhale. Sitting up really tall on your sit bones, don't let yourself sway back like I just did there. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. For our next exercise, you're going to be sitting on your bottom, sitting up really tall. We won't use the ball quite yet. From here, you're just going to sit up tall on your sit bones, squeeze your glutes, even though you're just seated here. Pull your shoulders down your back, and then start to lift one leg up and down, one leg up and down. Being mindful of that breath. And last one, switch to the other foot. And last one here. And then start to curl your tailbone under you. Roll back just a little bit. Start to feel your sacrum, which is just above your tailbone, right below where your lower back starts. And then start to roll yourself back up to seated. So pull in at your belly button here, squeeze your glutes, reach your tailbone towards your heels as you roll. And then roll up and forward. You can kind of extend your back here at the top and again. Roll, reach the tailbone towards the heels, and roll yourself back up. Okay, coming into some hundreds next. Doing a modified hundreds exercise. Typically you do this on your back, which we might do as a progression next week. So bring the ball in between your thighs. I'll actually face camera. So squeezing in on the ball. If you don't have a ball, you're going to leave your legs a little separated and just think about hugging them in towards either a pillow or a ball. And then take a big inhale here. Begin pumping your arms by your side and then exhale. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze your glutes. Try not to let your lower body move as you take these big deep breaths in and out. Inhale in. Exhale out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. Shoulders pulling down your back. Last 2 breaths. Last big breath. Keep hugging the ball. And exhale. Release the ball from the inner thighs. Coming down onto your back. Don't use the ball for this exercise. You'll bring your feet flat on the mat. You should feel a little bit of a gap in between your lower back and the mat. We typically call this neutral spine. From here, I'm just going to have you practice some pelvic tilts. So you're going to curl your tailbone forward, reach your tailbone towards your heels. Think about smushing your lower back into the mat. Chest stays nice and wide here, and then release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, tailbone reaches towards the heels. Exhale. Now find a really good, nice, strong, neutral spine. So just a little bit of a contraction in the glutes to protect the lower back as you bring your right leg up into tabletop, and then your left leg comes to follow. Now, if this right here already starts to feel like a lot of stabilization is required in this area, kind of around your hips and your pelvic area, just hold this position and maybe try to tap a foot down. But if you start to feel really wobbly or like you're arching your back too much, just hold them. Making sure that you're keeping nice, even breath as you alternate tapping one toe down at a time. Use that breath to keep the waist pulled in slightly so that you don't overarch the back. One more time each side. And then hug the knees in. Just kind of roll around on your lower back for a moment, rolling one way in each direction. Coming into bridge work next, option to use the ball. Bring the ball in between the legs. Your feet should be about hip width apart. You might need to adjust them as you start moving. We're going to start with some articulation. So hands long, arms long by your side, chest really nice and wide and open. Start to curl your tailbone just like we did with those pelvic tilts. Smush the mat and then start to roll up one bone at a time. Stop once you get to your shoulder blades. Don't let your shoulder blades lift. Stretch your knees forward and squeeze in on the ball, or just isometrically squeeze your legs towards one another. Then start to roll down one bone at a time. Let's do that with the breath. So curl the tailbone forward, smush the lower back into the mat, and then roll up. Stretch the knees forward. Chest stays nice and wide and open. As you come back down, start from your upper back, your middle back, your lower back. Finally, let your tailbone release. Coming up one more time, and we'll add a variation here at the top. From here, you're going to hinge your bottom down, so really relax your glutes, and then squeeze your glutes, come back up. Relax the hips and the glutes, and then squeeze them, come back up. Keep stretching the knees forward every time you come up. Really press down through your heels, but try to make sure that your whole foot is keeping contact with the mat. So coming down and up, light squeeze on the ball. When you come up to the top the next time, hold here. Start to pulse in on the ball. Long pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Roll it down one bone at a time. Coming up one more time. Roll up. This time alternating, feet slightly lifting off the mat. If that starts to feel like too much, just hold here. So lifting your right foot slightly and bringing it back down. Left foot slightly and bringing it back down. You can bring your hands to your hips if that helps, to make sure that they're not wobbling as you do this. If you feel too much wobbling, I recommend you just keep the hips or you just keep the feet down. Try and keep your hips lifted. Last set. And roll it down. Remove the ball. And then start to bring yourself up. Coming into a variation of a roll down. You can bring your feet together or about hip width apart, coming into a little bit of another abdominal stretch. Abdominal contraction and a stretch. So bringing your arms forward. Inhale here, sitting up really tall on your sit bones. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Roll yourself forward, stretch for the toes. Inhale as you come back up. Grow tall. Exhale, chin to chest. Pull the belly button in. Keep your hips reaching back as your arms reach forward. Inhale here. Shoulders stay pulled down. Exhale, round forward. Stretch your toes back towards you as your fingers are reaching for the toes. Roll up, and last one. Exhale, roll forward. Okay, coming into some quadruped exercises. We'll start with a little stretch here. So a little cat-cow, a good fan favorite. Start by finding your neutral spine, your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and then take a big inhale. As you round your spine, bringing your chin to your chest, tailbone reaches towards your heels. Exhale, keep pushing the mat away. Inhale, round. Exhale, stretch. Inhale. Exhale, extend the spine. We're going to switch the breath. So inhale here. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. And inhale, extend. Find your neutral spine. So nice flat back, as flat as you can imagine it. Really press the mat away with your hands, and then start to reach the right leg back. As you do this, find where your left leg can help stabilize you the most. Sometimes bringing it out slightly can help. And make sure that your right hip is neither lifting up towards the ceiling or rotating down. You want to keep it nice and parallel to the mat. From here, start to pulse the leg up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Leg reaches out to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bring the leg down. Shake it out for a second if you need to, especially if you have weak wrists like me. And then opposite leg. Left leg reaches back. Adjust your right knee if needed. Start to pulse. 8, 7, 6. Press the mat away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Coming into those little side swoops. Try not to let your hips wobble. You might notice that it was easier on one side than the other. And bend your knee in. And take a quick child's pose because we're coming into one last pose here, coming into a full bird dog. So your right leg extends, your left arm reaches forward. And we're just holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep pushing the mat away. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Switch. Left leg reaches, right arm reaches. Think about them reaching away from one another. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Quick child's pose here. Coming into some more leg and booty exercises. You're going to lie on your side. Try to line yourself up with the back edge of your mat. For this session, we'll be keeping the bottom leg bent as a modification. your left or your top leg extends, really think about reaching your toes back towards you, reaching your heel to the opposite wall so that you're shooting out all the energy from your hip out through that heel as you start to lower and lift the leg. Now you can play with your range of motion here. Just always stop at hip height. So if you can bring your leg up pretty high with control, feel free to do that, or you can stay at a lower range. Last two and last one. Now from here, keeping it at hip height with the toes pointing forward, swoop the leg forward and then swoop it back just as it's kind of right in line with your glute. So come forward and back. Try not to go too far back as we build some pelvic stability here. In future sessions, we might be able to bring the leg back a little bit more. So bringing it back and forward. Think about pulling your sideways slightly off the mat so that you're not totally collapsed here. This shoulder stays nice and pulled back. Leave the leg at hip height. Start to circle for 5 little circles. 4, 3, keep reaching the heel away. 2, and last one. Switch directions for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bend the top leg. Grab onto your ankle with your left hand and then extend your bottom leg on the mat. From here, start to lower and lift the bottom leg. If you can pull the bent foot or the bent leg in a little bit more just to get a nice stretch in that glute, go ahead and do that. And then from here, coming into circles with the bottom leg. 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then switch directions for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bend your knees and then bring yourself up carefully. Switching to the other side. Bottom knee bends, top leg extends, line yourself up with the back edge of the mat. And then from here, find your lower lift. If it feels better for you to have your hand on your hip for support, that's also okay. I like to have it here. Sometimes I switch it up. Remember to play with that range of motion if it feels good for you. Lifting your bottom waist slightly just so that you're not collapsed down there. And last one, swoop the leg forward and back. Press down through your bottom leg to make sure that it's giving you nice support. What you don't want to happen here is you don't want your pelvis to wiggle back and forth as you do this. So if you're finding that your range of motion needs to stay smaller, so shorter kicks forward and shorter kicks back to keep that stability, make sure that you do that. Okay, start to circle the leg in one direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and then switch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Oh my gosh, these burn. Grab onto your ankle, bring it in front of your opposite leg. Bottom leg extends, and then start to lower and lift the bottom leg. Sideways stays nice and slightly lifted, and then circle the bottom leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and then switch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bring yourself up, coming into a little side bend here. Crisscross your legs or bend the knees, feet flat on the mat. Bring your hands behind your head. You want to bring your hands right where your neck and the base of your skull meet. Press your head back into your hands so you're getting a really nice neck and upper back stretch. Inhale here. Exhale. Bring yourself up and over towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale towards the left. The right hip really presses down into the mat so it stays nice and connected. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Left hip stays down. Elbows are wide, chest is open. And exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Okay, finishing up our last big exercise with 2 variations of push-ups. Your choice if you prefer to just hold in a plank position, and that can be a plank on your knees or with your legs extended. For these push-ups, we're going to be doing them on our knees. I like to hug my heels together. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can just leave your legs apart. Whatever feels best. Bring your hands about shoulder width apart, and then make sure that you're squeezing your glutes as you find your plank position first. Then start to bend your elbows out to the side and straighten. Bend your elbows and straighten. Make sure that your glutes are staying engaged to protect your lower back as you bend and straighten. Last 3, 2, and last 1. Come back onto your knees, shake out the wrists if you need to, roll the shoulders, and then walk it back out. This time we're coming into some Pilates push-ups. So elbows hug in at the side rather than flaring out. So hug them in by your rib cage and then press away. Hug them in, elbows stay in towards your waist and press away. I think I can only do 6 more of these. Last 3, 2, and last 1. I challenge you to do more if you can, and then walk it back, come into a child's pose. Take a big inhale here. Exhale. Sink back a little more if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Now to finish up today, we're just ending with a roll down. So unfortunately you won't be able to see my feet, but that's okay. You'll bring your feet about hip width apart. Make sure that you have a good amount of room in front of you. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Take a big inhale here. Start to roll down the right side of your body. As you come down towards the floor, you can bend your knees if you need to. Swoop yourself around towards the left, and then press down through your right foot as you roll up the left side and come to center. One more to the other side. Twist and roll. Reach. Swoop towards the center, and then roll yourself up the right side and come back to the center. One more down the middle. Bring your chin to your chest. Keep your tailbone reaching towards the floor as you roll down. Give yourself a nice stretch here, and then press down through both feet and roll yourself up, one bone at a time. And thank you for joining.